Paflogging.
Holy fuck, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday.
Yes, timing.
We are on one very early, and that is a good sign. Welcome. This is our, unfortunately, last installment of this current iteration of our Die campaign. Hopefully should reemerge at some point in the near future. I imagine it will. But in the meantime, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. My name is Nick. I am the GM for this game. I am also playing a character named Bennett, who is the master class in this wonderful system of Die the RPG. We're going to have the other players introduce themselves with their names, their persona names, and what Paragon class they're playing, starting over at the end with my friend Mads.
I'm Mads. My character's name is Malcolm.
Mads about what?
I need a gif of that.
I'm Mads. My character's name is Malcolm. I am playing a grief knight named Sword Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Sword boy.
And
Sword
Al.
Boy.
Sword boy. Next.
Oh,
Oh!
me. I'm Danny. I'm
Okay,
playing.
so you got mad at me for my little.
I didn't get mad. I got
And then
delighted.
you,
There's a difference.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
I am Danny. I'm playing Gibbs or Gibbous, who is the Neo, and his Neo's character is named Wayne, I believe.
Yes.
because he's a waning Gibbous.
Yeah.
It's the moon.
Hi, friends. I am Brooke. I'm playing Aurora, who is playing a dictator named Cersei.
Ooh.
Delightful.
And?
I'm Echo, and I'm playing Ronnie, who is playing a godbinder named Darmeen. And I'm a bear.
They are indeed a bear. That was a part of their
Alternative nut
transformation
butter
from our last
Alternative nut butter
episode.
We didn't have
Speaking
a
of
spoon.
which, when last we left off, the once again reunited party had just entered the world of Die, into a perfect recreation of the Forgotten Lands from their old D&D campaign, a weird Wild West, blanketed in pale yellow skies, nestled amidst dusty Xeric landscapes, and plenty of hovels and structures to cast shadows for strange and dangerous things to dwell. The GM, Bennett, shepherded the group into this place and waited as each persona claimed the power of their respective... What? Uh-oh, I wrote this wrong. And claimed the power of their respective dice by interacting with them, just as Bennett had done upon arrival. After all members, this is why you proofread your notes, everybody. After all members of the group had transformed and were acclimating to this new place, Bennett told them that he would see them at the end, and promptly disappeared with a muzzle flash and smoke from his revolver. Before they could get another word or muffled curse in for their friend who just left them, a small scourge of strange creatures called Fallen descended upon the group. These strange, rotting, orcish zombies with exposed metallic exoskeletons came crashing in, snarling and snapping. But after some quick shots from Gibbs' rifle, Mal the Sword Boy and his deadly sharp new blade, and some divine fury from Ronnie's new pact with the God of the Wild, the tables had quickly turned in the party's favor. In a final display of new and terrifying power, Aurora the Dictator used her voice to elicit terror in the final fallen creature, causing it to ground itself into a pile of flesh and broken metal in an attempt to flee from her. No biggie.
Yeah.
After...
Yeah.
You guys all do that, right?
It's great. I'm not intimidated by it at all.
After a brief moment of respite, the group follows the sounds of civilization just beyond the walls that once contained them, and stumbled directly into the bustling town square of an all too familiar place, the town of Nilchuk, and more specifically, the Solemn Vow Saloon. Inside, they met Kerrigan, the old barkeep they knew and loved, and were soon approached by a stranger named Lucas Wax, an older gentleman merchant seeking some assistance in traveling a few dozen miles outside of town to a spot called Ormark Outpost, where he can sell his wares. He is, as his name suggests, a merchant of candles, and is just trying to make some money, and stay relatively unscathed, hence why he has hired our friends here. So, when we last left off, we were following our group just outside of the city limits of Nilchuk. Lucas Wax has this big sort of, like if a Ford F-150 was just like a steam steampunk black metal frame of a truck. This big flatbed, but with ornate metal framing to it. A strangely disguised undercarriage full of mechanics and things that only Gibbs noticed. But there's enough room for all of them to travel, with Gibbs sitting in the front passenger seat alongside Lucas as they drive, and Darmeen, the Godbinder, sort of walking next to the vehicle. So the town of Nilchuk is nestled sort of underneath and up against the side of this big orange rock mesa, this big tall thing that's flat on top, but a town is sort of nestled into it. It's got some natural shade from the elements, a natural barrier from the things that would lurk inside. Excuse me. And so the first hour or so of your journey is just sort of navigating the winding sort of canyon that leads into the side of this mesa. And after that first hour, you emerge into the arid highways, this open, sand-blasted space, vast and seemingly endless. Hard-packed sand and sandstone is winding its way out of this town into this, sand horizon. The paths rise and dip with the various dunes and clumps of desert brush, and the paths are quite important, as the name Forgotten Lands would suggest. Wandering too far off of the path does a couple of things. It exposes you to the harsher elements of this world, sand-filled, blustery storms and all manner of natural elements. But those who delve too deeply into what locals refer to as the shifting sands tend not to be heard from or seen again. So the paths that have been tread and are hard-packed tend to be kept to. So you notice on your way out that you encounter a few travelers making their way back into Nilchuk. They've seemingly made maybe a 1 or 2 days trek from who knows where, but are crossing their way through the mesa in the morning as you all are making their way out. And so eventually you make your way out into this wide expanse. What are you all doing as you travel?
Are we
Chilling.
the only two inside the vehicle at the moment?
Oh, that's fun.
In the back of the truck, yes.
I want to ask you something.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay. Sword boy.
I'm
Ooh.
Sword Boy.
I
Yes.
would like to ask you something on behalf of Aurora.
Yeah. Go for it.
If first, do you remember? Do you know where Aurora lives?
Do I know where Aurora lives?
You're the only one who's been in town the most frequently recently, right? Because you've been teaching.
Yeah. I know where you're at.
If she dies in this game, would you do her the favor of going in her
You're not
sock-
gonna die.
No, but if she does,
You're not gonna die.
will you please just get rid of the pink pills in her bedroom? No one can know about them.
Yeah. I'll do that, but you're not gonna die though.
That's fine. You're welcome to believe that. I needed to ask you.
You don't have to call me Sword Boy if you don't want.
I'd prefer to protect as much of our true selves as I can.
Do you think that's like a problem?
I don't know if it is. So I'm just being cautious.
Ah, I didn't even think about that. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, shit. I mean, I guess if we're here, like, literally, it could be, like, literally anybody. Okay, good call. Good call. Celeste. Circe. Circe. Yep, I got it.
Thank you for your
Alright,
discretion.
Yes. Mhm. Yeah.
I'm up top like, yo, Ronnie.
Yo, Bear Man, what's going on, my God?
Bear Man.
As you guys are traveling, a relatively slow pace. It's hard for wheels to travel along some of the sandier parts of this terrain. So you're taking a little bit slow, and so as not to leave Ronnie behind. But Lucas turns to Gibbs and says, "Seems like you all are quite close. Certainly,
We used to be. Yeah.
used to. What do you mean?
We were all really close a long time ago, and we just recently got back together. It's
Oh,
kind of like a reunion.
gotcha. Well, what a gift it is to be reunited with people that we cherish, I suppose.
Yeah.
I
It's a
mean,
good way
I
to put
can't
that.
say I have many of those. It's mostly me and my truck for the most part. And sometimes even this hunk of junk doesn't want to run from me all the time. So sometimes it's just me.
Well, it seems like there's plenty of folks around. You ever take the time to get to know anybody?
Commerce is a weird thing around these parts. It's well, obviously it's transactional, but it's hard to find customers who will dedicate more than just their money to you. You know, I try to be as amicable as I can
You
be.
gotta cut loose. You can't always try and date your clientele. That's gonna become a problem.
I wish.
Yeah. No, I understand.
I've been dating my work more than anything else. Can't get enough of it.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, sort of pats the top of the cabin. Pretty impressive friend you got here. Where'd that come from? Yeah, you would. Yeah, I think you had specified you gave him the alert thing, and that you had like placed him on top like a little sentry.
Oh, he's he's sort of a facsimile of a real chameleon I have back home. Sorry, that probably doesn't make sense to you. He's named after a friend.
Oh, what's his name?
Cody 2, but I'm calling him Cody 2.0 here. This is a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. He there's just the briefest flash when you say the name Cody.
Mm-hmm.
It's so slight, but then as quickly as it comes, it leaves. Like he, like that moment where someone says, "Oh, my friend so and so." Like, wait, I know a so and so by that name. Like just the briefest of maybe he knows someone else named Cody, but it's so slight.
Yeah.
And as you keep driving, so how about them fair?
Yeah, they're interesting. They're like that. The gold. They did lots of knowledge. It's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. That's fair. It's fair. It's I don't know. Maybe it's just my age or something. I don't know, but it feels like a little bit much sometimes.
Yeah, it's weird to feel indebted all the time.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that they call them gifts, and yet it's a gift of it's not out of kindness, it's not out of compassion, or at least I don't think so. The fact that we have to keep on finding their damn coins just to keep it running, otherwise it's just scrap. You know?
We're foot soldiers. We're temp employees.
I guess I just wish I knew what they wanted. They go on and on about things that happen, things that won't happen.
What happens if we don't do anything?
I don't think that's one of the things that happens, for them at least.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Their needs and their desires are, I believe, purposefully unclear. I couldn't tell you. And I've had this slot in my hand for long time. He sort of adjusts what he's wearing and puts his hands back, and as his coat slips back, you see more exposed kind of cybernetic parts higher up on his other arm, and readjusts his shirt, and you see a little bit peeking out from under his chest. He's more cybernetic than he would lead on to be.
Lucas, can I ask you a very strange question?
What's a strange question around these parts? Sure, shoot.
Were you born here?
I don't know. I don't remember.
How long would you say you've been in town doing your business?
Oh, man. Feels like years. All I know is how it feels. Feels like I've always been this old.
So
I'm tired.
you could forget.
I mean, guess so. You could write it down, or I don't know, maybe the fair field can keep track of it for you. I don't know.
Write it down, Lucas. You and I are peas in a pod, my friend.
If you say so. And keep on
Yeah, I'm like,
keeps on driving along. You see you'll notice this up front as you hit a relatively bumpy patch. There's like some exposed stones and some desert brush kind of moving around a corner to avoid a dune. And as he does, your passenger side mirror is already a little bit rickety, but that bump kind of knocks it, and it's hanging on by an edge, and this sort of finally, like, another little jostle like clips it off, and it starts to fall. And you see him just sort of snap, go, and snap, and then turn back to the road and go with his seemingly non-cybernetic arm, and you see just a tiny little portal open up where it's falling, go, and it disappears and pops up in his hand. To fix it when we stop. Shit. Keeps going.
fuck, that was awesome.
That's so cool.
I mean, I picked this gift up when I started getting into business, or at least that's what I can remember.
Huh.
It was helpful for, boxing product and stuff.
Does it go in one, out another? Or does it go in one and appear in your hand?
Hard to say. I tried asking the fair about this, and the only thing they told me was light field projector. So something to do with manipulating space and refracting light or something like that. I don't know. But it was interesting. I mean, I used to be able to use it to move myself. I could do that. Could just sort of blink and move somewhere else if I wanted to. But now it's just helps me pack my cases without my arms getting too tired, or save my rear view or my side when it starts popping up on truck. Something. I mean, there's some interesting stuff that they've got going on. I just wish I knew more about the things that happen. So vague. What are they hiding?
Yeah. Well, if I could get my hands on one, I'd ask them.
Yeah, maybe. Good luck. I certainly haven't had any, but maybe you've got a drive to you, and I'm the one piloting this thing.
Well, I got your back. Yeah, got your back, Lucas.
Nice, man.
But this entire time, Gibbs has sort of been like absent-mindedly like touching, like there's like a gap between his ribs, which when he made the transformation, that's where like the manuscript had sort of assembled itself in sort of like a little ejector, like hard drive format. So he's physically aware of where it is. He's not like taking it out. He's just kind of like tapping it.
I'm gonna roll something. Lucas keeps his eye on the road. What's Darmeen going through, or what are they thinking about it as we're traveling along this little caravan?
Darmeen's just got a good lookout, just checking out these like gas lands.
Having his little bear thoughts.
Having my little bear thoughts over here. I hear muffled like sounds within like the caravan, and I'm just watching this mirror fall and just disappear in front of me as I was about to go and like grab it with my mouth, just being like, "Fuck, man." Also, just be like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by anything. And I'm just keeping a lookout. After we heard about these smilers and all of these other fun little guys around, I'm just keeping my eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Since you all are just nicely in a caravan, tucked away.
Yeah, sort of taking like bodyguard position a little bit.
Exactly.
Your thoughts on what dangers might be ahead of you, or some of the shit you guys have already been through, and how like weirdly exhilarating it is, you know? Like, yeah, it's scary as fuck. Like we're really in danger of being hurt or maybe even losing our lives, and yet that was a fucking rush, you know?
Absolutely. Because in his mind, he's just looking around for inspiration.
I think as you're walking, you're probably the only one to notice this with your vantage point next to the truck. The others are either too far ahead or too far behind. But just a little ways off of sort of the beaten path that you're traveling, I think you notice just ahead of you something like glint that's a little shiny kind of sticking out of the ground.
How far?
Oh, it's as you're approaching it, you know, you're like 10, 15 feet away from it. It's in pace with the truck, but the others don't have eyes on it yet.
I'm gonna go ahead and just pick up the pace a little bit. Get over there. I want to start pawing at it to pull it on up with my mouth.
Absolutely. Yeah, after just a little bit, doesn't take much. The sand is relatively loose just off the path. You uncover this like it's a Chris dagger, or at least the blade of it, sort of curved in this subtle S shape, broken off of whatever handle it belongs to or whoever it used to belong to. But you catch this large sort of blade shrapnel in the sand. And as you kind of move it about with your claws, you hear a voice enter the back of your head. The spoils of war. Or an object of war that has been spoiled by being broken.
I'm gonna go ahead and just pop that in my satchel.
I have no idea what use you have for that when your weapons are attached to your hands.
You never know.
Well, something I do know is that wild as you may be, there is still potential for you elsewhere. Perhaps you and I can make some sort of arrangement.
Go on.
Well, I have power to offer you, obviously, but how you use it, well, that's the question, isn't it? This world is overrun with all manner of filth and detritus. People claiming idolatry to false gods and the zealots that keep their memories alive. I would see them washed out entirely. Maybe you can help.
I do find this proposal intriguing.
What do you think the war god's name is? I want to posit that to you. If they have a name, maybe they just have a title. Or maybe
I'm getting Zorna
Zorna. I like that.
with an X, please.
It's almost Xena, but not
XORNA.
quite.
We all love Xena here.
Correct.
That's true. Well, should you find yourself in need of strength, you need only ask for Zorna.
I have a feeling that might come in handy, but what do you desire from me?
Life is war, little bear. You must only be a good soldier, as I know you can be.
So you want me to do your bidding?
Is that not what these relationships are about? In some way, of course.
And if I accept, do I have to do this without question?
If you're worried about the carnage wreaked upon your friends, or who you call your friends at this moment in time, I am not so cruel. I am stark, but not cruel. You may fight alongside them. They will aid you. They are your infantry, your battalion.
I can do this.
Should you encounter something more pressing, I think perhaps we'll talk, have a bit of a strategy meeting. But for now, I see great power in you. Do not disappoint me.
I'll try.
And you feel that presence that was sort of sitting at the back of your head, just like you were wearing a hat. Just something, just a slight pressure on the back of your head. Feel it lift and move away with the sand that blows past you.
Fantastic. Darmin just shakes his head.
Awesome.
And I'm just gonna turn back. I see the little caravan. Yeah, maybe like 10 or so feet away. Just making its way.
See anything up there, big guy?
Nothing.
All right. Well, just don't go too far. I don't want to go losing you, or anybody else for that matter. Got a few more hours before nightfall. Hopefully we can make it about halfway. Find some sort of rock formation or something to shelter us. We'll make a quick camp. Easy work. We'll get there tomorrow.
Fantastic. Darmin's just gonna stand up on his hind legs, take a quick scour around, make sure there's nothing sinister going on. And
Make a roll a wisdom dice pool, and you will take a disadvantage as per our donations from last session.
beautiful.
Unless you want to use one of your advantages that you were granted to cancel that out. But for your next few rolls, you'll take your disadvantages until they're gone.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and there's dice there in the center for all of you.
Excellent. There's a 3 and a 1.
All right, yeah, you take a quick scour. Lots of sand, lots of dry brush. You do notice, I'll say, even with the 3, which is technically not a success, but you do see
Rough, of
off
course.
one of the pathways down sort of a series of dunes that rolls its way down and down and down. You see at the very edge where the heat of this place starts to sort of writhe in the air, like you can see heat wave coming off of asphalt, way far down where it starts to sort of shift. You see a slight change in color down in the terrain and a change of texture. It's not too different of a, well, it's not a different color to the naked eye, but with your sort of synesthete senses, you smell it more than you see it. Also now being more animal than person. It smells a lot like peanuts.
Mm.
And you see this sort of shift in color, which maybe for your smell and taste, those senses that are affected by your synesthesia, that color difference would appear more stark to you. It may, whatever color you think that would be for Ronnie.
Oh, it's totally green.
Green? Yeah, so in stark contrast, none of the brush or vegetation you've seen in the desert so far is anywhere close to the verdant green that this you see now moving past down in the horizon, where you can see it's really far away. But what looks almost like a body of water, but it's got this crazy peanut scent to it. And you can
I'm
smell it
going
from far away.
to turn to the caravan and let them know we need to go this way.
Well, it's the
Off the path?
Mhm.
Off the path. We need to go this way.
Didn't we have a heading? This is a
Where are we going?
delivery of candles. I feel like we don't need a detour, do we?
I mean,
What's going on?
What's over there? Yeah, what do you see?
It's different. It's not like the rest of these lands. It has a familiar odor to it.
Is that
Can you please use your words? I'm begging you. I love that you're like being like cool and mysterious. What are you talking about?
Specifically.
Ronnie, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about we're going this way. I think there's something you need to see.
Anyone else smell that?
Uh,
You all kind of get little hints of it now, coming in the direction that Ronnie pointed out.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
That's not. I mean,
shouldn't.
like that was a joke.
Yeah. No.
That
that's-
wasn't even like
and
for real.
And in poor taste.
Yeah,
I yell
no,
at
it
Bennett's general
It wasn't.
direction.
I don't know. I like peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody
you had to
fucking
be-
likes peanut butter. Yeah, that's the problem.
I have struck a nerve. I will not talk
Yeah.
about it anymore. But
Lucas, it's not your fault. You don't know.
okay. Well, regardless, I don't know how I feel getting that far off the paths that we know. Just
I mean, what do we expect to be there, Ronnie?
I feel like that is there because Bennett wants us to be there. We are supposed to.
So you
be
just like do
honoring
whatever
a
Bennett says, or
memory.
what?
I'm trying to get to the end game. I feel like this is something Bennett wants us to confront.
You
I
think this
feel-
is like our call to action? Is what you're saying?
Very well could be. Otherwise,
I'm with
we
you.
go deliver some candles. Where's that going to get us?
I'm with you.
uh,
You said we needed a place to make camp, right?
I mean, in a few hours, we'll probably find some kind of little nest of rocks or something somewhere
Can
down
we just
the
like
path.
make camp like a little bit early and like go down this way a little bit?
Well, I mean, it's bright enough right now, and in an open enough space that I can maybe, I can cloak, I can stay hidden on the road, and if y'all want to explore, fine, but just come back. That's all I ask.
We
Okay.
agreed to protect you. We're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
protect
we'll be
you.
back. We'll be back.
We'll make it quick.
I hope so. And as you guys sort of shamble out of the vehicle, you see Lucas kind of hits a couple things on his dashboard and fishes around somewhere deep and looks at Gibbs and says, "This is my last one. And I'm going to use it. Try and stay hidden. Should get me through the rest of the day till sundown. All right?
All right. Good. Okay.
All right." Puts it into where you would recognize, like, where like a CD slot would be in like a modern car.
Sure.
And the car slowly, as like more sand and breeze whips past, the truck slowly starts to shift. It almost looks like it's melting into sand, but it's just the illusion overtaking it. If you were to put your arm out where you knew it to be, you could still feel it.
Mhm.
But he's using his light field projector to kind of refract light around him and keep himself. He's not invisible, but he's
Right.
more protected where he is now thanks to his gift.
Right. Thanks for putting up with my friend's bullshit.
I put up with a lot of shit all the time, man. Just come on back.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back.
We will.
Okay, let's go.
All right. So yeah, you start climbing your way down. It's not as steep at first, but to get to where I'm assuming Darmeen, you're sort of leading the charge towards where you saw.
Yes.
Okay. You make your way down. It's light at first, and then the dunes start to get really, really steep, and then you hit a spot where it's like, I'm gonna have to have everyone roll a dexterity dice pool to see if you can maintain your footing as you move your way down.
And we have disadvantage, right?
You have disadvantage. You only have to take one disadvantage, and you can use as many advantages as you have in your pool currently, if you want to.
All right. And so the disadvantage.
I think I'm at
I
one
only get to
disadvantage
I only
now.
get to use one die.
Same.
Wait.
Yeah, I only
Fuck.
get one die.
So if my dex is 3, I roll 2.
Correct.
Okay.
My dex is 2, so I'm gonna roll 1.
I've got a 4 and a 3.
Great.
I got a 3.
I got a 3.
And that, what was that from Gibbs?
2.
So we've only got one success in the group, and that's from Aurora. So as you guys crest your way over these dunes with the, now what you can see, you can now see the far edge of this hot, like bubbling, swampy kind of like peanut butter lake contained in this sort of, what you would imagine would be like a quicksand pit, but it's all just sort of filled with peanut butter that slowly bubbles in the sun. The smell gets a lot stronger as you move closer, and as the dunes move farther and farther down. They don't call this place the Shifting Sands for nothing. Aurora, with your sort of cheer training and your new sort of power and grace that you've claimed in this space, you're able to kind of keep your feet under you and just sort of slide your way down and stay upright. The rest of you stumble and trip in some way. You've got sand lodged between your fucking plates. You get a mouthful of it, Mal. It's all stuck in your gums. Darmine, it's everywhere. It's in your fur. It's in your little eye crusties. It's bad. You take no damage, but you're slowed down by this.
Uncomfy.
But you can continue to move and make progress. Eventually, I'd say with that little stumble from most of you, that'll add like another 20 to 30 minutes of just like regaining your composure, getting your footing back, because all the sand shifts below you and you're having to move slower. After about hour and a half, close to 2 hours, you're able to sort of trudge your way out. No, you bring Tui along with you, I would imagine.
Yes.
You would have taken him off. Great. Tui's still out in front with Darmine, keeping an eye on the scene, and you guys sort of crest up at the edge, or close to the edge of this bubbling peanut butter lake. The smell is wild. Absolutely insane.
Okay.
Mal, you hear from behind you, from your sword, only you hear this, it's not speaking out loud. The voice that you expect to hear is not the one that you hear. It's not a masculine sort of male traditionally voice.
Oh no.
It's a little more feminine and it sounds kind of alien to you. Like you
Okay.
don't really recognize it. Just says, oh, man, whatever made this really loved the stuff, I guess.
Whatever.
Yeah, like the lake, like someone had to make this. It's in the middle of the fucking desert. Who would do
I
that?
guess. Who would do that? Also, hey, what's up? I'm Sword Boy.
Hey, I'm Lucy.
Of course you are. Cool. Are you my sword?
Yeah, what else would I be?
Yeah, I don't know. That was a silly question.
Don't worry. Couldn't leave even if I wanted to.
Okay. So what do you think, I'm sorry. You think something like made this lake? Just like out of like sheer love of peanut butter? Or?
I mean, I don't know that I'd take geographical advice from a sword, but I don't know how else this would have gotten here.
I mean, like, I'm not from around here. So like, I don't know how this place like works.
Yeah, it's all right. You'll figure it out.
Hey, sorry, hold on. I'm gonna ask my friends.
Sure.
Hey, do you guys find it odd that there's a lake in the middle of the desert?
It was
Yeah,
like a
well-
gag in our game from years ago.
I remember I dropped the spoon, but like,
Geographically, it's silly.
not sound.
It's also peanut butter, right? Is it actual peanut butter?
I mean, go try it.
I don't know if I want to.
It smells like peanut butter.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
man.
God. Wayne, maybe not.
You lose one guard. It is hot.
Oh.
Fuck! It is hot, my guy. It is. But it's not. But it's not like when you like microwave peanut butter and it gets really like
Yeah.
It gets less viscous. It's still thick, like creamy peanut butter, but it is hot. So remove one guard.
All right.
Take a step back.
You're good. Being next to it is fine. I mean, besides the
Just in
smell, which you can
case.
feel
It's
that
not
one
like
about.
boiling.
When it cools off, is it like molten cheese? Like, is it that sort of like fuck hot? Or
I mean, it's like when you put your fingers in candle wax, and
Sure.
so it'll cool. I mean, in the desert sun, you can like shade
Got
it
it.
if you want to,
So
but
once I, like-
eventually it cools off.
to
yeah.
like cool it off. I do want to taste it. I want to
Okay.
see if it like is this actually peanut butter? Is this some weird facsimile? Is this a trap? Whatever.
Roll a Constitution dice pool.
Bro.
knew it.
With a disadvantage, your last one.
With a disadvantage, or yeah, all right, go for it.
3 and a 4.
Great, that's one success. Yeah, it is just as hot moving its way down, but thanks to kind of your new carapace, sort of your outsides changed, and this is maybe your first inclination that maybe your insides are different too, because it kind of
I don't think I eat food anymore, guys.
you would expect to feel it like you would feel a really like strong whiskey or something, and it's just like sliding down a rain gutter.
Dunk.
Yeah, it's just like sliding down a rain gutter.
Oh,
you just kind of
shit.
feel it catch,
I think I
and
need a
then
plumber.
hit where you think your stomach would be, and then that's kind of it.
Oh,
You okay?
yeah, I don't think that was good for me.
All right.
But it is peanut butter. Can I taste it? Am I aware?
It tastes like peanut butter.
Alright.
Tastes like really good, whatever your favorite brand of peanut
It
butter
is
was.
peanut butter and it's hot as fuck peanut butter. Don't.
So you still
touch it.
taste things, but you're not supposed to eat stuff?
I imagine it's a sensory thing. I got lots of weird shit that I can do, but I imagine,
Okay.
suss out poison
All
or
right,
something.
let me know if you want me
I
to
think with
slap you
these
again
questions,
or anything.
your Fairfield kind of pops up for a second, and it's like that episode in SpongeBob where they kept putting food into Karen and having her tell them what it was. And it's like
Yeah.
they put in seaweed, and it's like 50% sea, 50%
50%
weed.
weed.
It's kind of like that where your Fairfield just goes peanut butter confirmed.
Cute.
So
Oh
Okay.
yeah, Fairfield.
Is
I could have just asked, probably.
So it's just hot peanut butter.
It is a molten lake of peanut butter.
another message sort of pops through your. Which eye was your kind of like scouter? Because you have your two
Like
different
my
color eyes.
weapon is my violet.
So then
my,
your scouter eye is
yeah,
probably your left
my green
eye.
eye. Yeah.
So like in like quick green text, sustenance is appreciated but not required.
Cute. I don't have to eat. That's fun.
Don't have to, huh?
I don't think Bennett's here. I don't
Yeah. So now
like
that
we're
we're here,
We're here now.
Should we call him?
You want to just yell?
How do we?
Like,
Fairfield,
is there?
Yes.
are you able to find Bennett?
Searching database for Bennett. Roll an intelligence dice pool.
You
No more
can use
disadvantages.
advantage if you want.
I would like to use an advantage.
Get in there.
A 6, a 4, and a 1.
Woo! 2 successes, one of which is special. You receive a lot of results, kind of encyclopedia style of entries for the name or the letters composing the word Bennett. You don't see any relation to the last name Fulbright, any like image or depiction. You hear about people named Bennett in far off realms and distant lands of nearby towns, things like that. You get one that's relatively close by. It's sort of not in your immediate proximity, but it's not super, super far away. And you see that result, it kind of shows you almost like a mini map, a little bit, like a top-down mini map of where you are in this sort of geographical location. So you don't get like a full map, but you can see kind of like vague shapes of here's the lake and here's the hill and stuff. And you see it kind of a little ways off in the distance. Something attributed to the name Bennett is somewhat close by.
All right, guys. There is a Bennett right there. That way, further.
As you point, Tui moves its head, opens its mouth, and starts making these like chittering, like chitinous sorts of noises in that same direction, alerting you to danger. Before it ambushes you, you see creatures. You see a few creatures sort of. They look just like shadows in the sand at first, kind of moving down a dune. You'd think maybe it's just like a tumbleweed or some brush or something. But their steps are quiet in the sand and they move unnaturally quickly. You see 5 figures, 3 in front, 1 behind it, and then 1 behind that, like the shape of an arrow, all moving towards your group at an unnatural speed. As they get closer, you can identify them now because you see that they are dripping in rags of brightly colored garb, just odds and ends, scraps and pieces. The only concrete thing about all of them, they're wearing odds and ends, but the thing that all of them share is this strangely stitched, multicolored rag collar that kind of has these points that move out from their neck that they're all wearing. The 3 in the front are a little bit smaller in stature, between 5 and 5.5 feet, something like that, wielding some pretty sharp swords in their hand. The figure just behind them is this hulking, raging dude with a sickly looking hammer. And then behind them, floating more than they are running, is this strange, small, slight figure wearing the same collar of rags and robes of rags as well, with a strange akimbo hat off to one side, and holding only a weird little sharpened bone in their hand, whittled to look like the thinness of a wand. And as they get closer, you can hear them more than just see them. They are we're going into initiative.
Yeah, we are.
Dude.
And so let me look at my buddies.
I forgot how.
I know how to roll initiative.
I know you've got a dexterity of 3. Anyone else have a higher dexterity than that?
No.
Aurora will be the first to act in this moment. I'll have Aurora go, and then the rest of you are at 2, yeah?
Mhm.
All the rest of the 3 of you, great.
Yep.
Cool. So we'll start there. So we pull now sort of some of them are still kind of rounding around the side of this lake. Some of them are closing in farther. And again, now you can see, now that they're up close, they have rags that almost fully cover their eyes, except maybe there's some slits in the middle, but their eyes are covered in reverence. And you just see these awful scarred marks across their face, pulling up their cheeks. Aurora, you're the first to act in this moment. What do you do?
I tell the big one to drink, and I point at the peanut butter.
You're using your voice,
Yes.
and you're inflicting...
I would like for him to burn his insides, essentially, drinking this thing in.
What emotion are you inflicting to make him do that?
I guess terror kind of moves out into submission, and that's what I'm aiming for.
That works for me.
Cool.
Great. So go ahead, roll your d4.
4?
Roll your charisma.
4. Hold on. I need one more. Okay. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Don't fuck me. Oh no. 4, 3, 4, 5.
Nice.
Okay, 4, 3, 4. So that's 3 successes.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
How much do you want to push?
So many. 10 scoops. As many as I can.
Okay.
All of them.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, as you see the figure get closer behind the 3 sword bearers, you see him like laughing in maniacal rage almost. And you see that he actually has no teeth in his mouth, but is adorned all across his body, is wearing very little clothing, but is adorned in bandoliers and strands and headdresses of stolen teeth from people, probably that they harried in some way.
Sexy.
Alright.
Great. Love it.
And just in this like maniacal rage stops for a moment, and your tell shows. So your eyes like
My
flash.
eyes go lime green.
And he stops and is frightened of you and just hears the word drink. And starts to maneuver his way towards the pool. If I could have your D4.
Okay.
Once you use the
Teach
voice
him
on
that.
somebody until they are incapacitated or dead, I will, since you're controlling one of my characters, I'll hold on to this D4, which means that creature has to lose the effect of the voice or die or something before you get this back.
Okay.
All
But do
right,
I get to keep reusing it every turn on that person?
Check your voice mechanics. I don't exactly remember what that says.
All right.
You seem like you have a question.
Just for visuals.
Please.
So we all have our assigned
Yes.
polyhedrals on us. Does that physically affect in the world when she uses her ability? Does it like float away? Is it like locked? Is it?
I'll leave that to Brooke.
Okay.
What do you think happens when you use your voice? Because you said you wore it around your neck like a pendant. I think for the voice, when you're using it to affect somebody, I think until that person, I'll look this up. I think until that person is incapacitated or dead, it will stay with that creature, and then once they're indisposed, you'll be able to then use your voice on something so that you can't, because purposefully the voice is like single target unless you have abilities like later on that make it really widespread.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a more focused power, but you've got other stuff at your disposal that you can use.
Cool.
Yeah, in the meantime, it's on his turn in initiative that will enact, more stuff will happen. So it's like the command spell. It's like on their turn, they'll do what you say. It's like that.
What's your visual question? Sorry.
What does your D4 do? Does your die that you wear around your neck when you transform, does that do anything in regards to your voice?
I think, okay, so you've got the 2 glowing orbs of my eyes, and it's the whole eye, and then also the dice lights up in the same color, and so it actually makes the triangle that is like the one face of the D4. But that was kind of by accident, but it's still kicking.
No, that's really cool. Like these points of light connect in a triangle. And then there's sort of this 4th point that emanates from you that creates the pyramid in front of you.
Gorge.
And that sort of like hits them kind of just beneath their jaw and moves up, and then they're affected by you.
Cool.
Really cool. Great. TBD. So that's Aurora's turn. Did you want to move anywhere at all?
I will move as far up this dune as I can.
Great. Yeah, you can go ahead and move. You'll move 1 distance field back, and you'll be sort of more towards the back line.
Cool.
Awesome. Since you had Tui be so alert, I'm going to let you act next.
Great.
Since you were alerted to these things.
When I upgraded, I gave Cody to Tui the distracting thing. So I want him to leap off my shoulder and just like rave lights, just
Sure.
So like all these smilers, just, what the fuck?
Can you read the verbiage from your gift sheet? What that distracting thing does?
Oh yeah.
Mechanically?
If your pet assists you in an attack, you gain special, remove 2 guard.
Whoa.
And I would like to lock my rifle into my cheek, and I'm going for the one with the wand. Ranged to ranged, I want to take this sucker out.
Go for it. Yeah, go ahead and make that attack.
All right. And I can use my thing, right? Whenever
you are assisted by an activated gift.
Yeah.
So yes, go ahead and add your D10 to this roll, please.
All right. So it's
and it's a dexterity dice pool for your gun.
Yeah.
Incredible. Very, very cool.
So that's a 5 and a 4, and then a 4 on the D10.
That's all success. That success is all the way down, baby. And so with and they because the Tui's assistance removes 2 guards because of your attack. Yes. Right? When you assist you with an attack, you remove 2 guard if that attack hits, I would imagine.
Right.
Great. So that would be 2 guard. Yeah, you nail this. You like. Again, this thing is giggling, and as you get closer, you can hear actually as they approach that their chittering is not just like pure unhinged laughter, that they're sort of echoing specific syllables and sounds, and that it's coming from the mage in the back. And they're interrupted with a bullet that just sort of grazes through them, like through their clavicle, basically just south of their neck, and they are. And they lose their frenzied speech for a moment, but the others continue to chant after them. It's looking pretty hurt, but you've done a sizable hit to it. That was awesome.
Sweet.
Cool as hell. All right. After that, I would imagine Darmeen and Swordboy, you guys are probably closer to the front. In this little range, because Aurora moved back, you're attacking at range, Wayne, so you're probably a little farther back as well. So I'm going to say 2 of these Smilers split off, and they're each going to throw an attack at you, at one at each of you. Cool. So the first one will, thank God I made these fucking cards. The first one will throw an attack at Mal.
Okay.
That's 2 successes, remove 2 guard.
Okay.
And you have, what's your defense? Your defense is 1, right?
Uh-huh.
Remove 1 guard, my apologies.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem, thank you.
Okay, next one is going for Ronnie. Do you also have 1 guard?
We're gonna do this correct.
I'm sorry,
this
do you have
time.
1 defense?
I have 2 guard, 1 defense.
You have 1 defense. All right, so we'll move a success. So that's only 1 hit, so remove one guard.
Beautiful.
Great. So these 2 sort of chittering and mimicking these strange, like non-verbal syllables get up to the two of you and are able to kind of stick the sword sort of into a little gap in your armor and kind of nick you a little bit, and the other one kind of gets a thicker part of your hide. Doesn't really like cut super deep, but does a nice little hit to you. We'll go ahead and have you guys retaliate. So whichever of the two of you wants to go first, it's going to be your guys' turn.
Okay.
Whichever wants to go.
I can go first.
Yeah, you
Great,
can
go
go.
for it. So you've got one combatant right next to you. You've got another near Mal, who's close but is not within melee range. There's only one within melee range of you, but there's one that's close by, and then there's two that are a little farther away, and then the mage is far.
All right, so Mal and their Smiler is not within close range.
They are within close range.
They are within close
They're not
range.
in melee range, so you can't touch both of the ones that are there, but it's in close enough range.
Close enough range.
Yeah, it's in the range, the distance mechanics, because we're not working in feet like in D&D. There's melee, close, medium, and far. So I would say there's one that's in melee of you, one that is close, which is the one next to Mal, one that is medium, which is the one that Gibbs just hit. And then I would say the giant raging one was also medium, but it's now moving in a different direction. And I would say that the one with the wand is far, but with Gibbs' rifle, he was able to get to the back one.
And Mal's considered close to me. Okay.
Mal's considered close, that's correct.
Fantastic. I am gonna go ahead to my new buddy Zorna. I'm gonna call upon Zorna.
Incredible. What do you say to them as you call upon them?
Zorna, let's see what you can do for me.
Yes.
And what he's going to go ahead and do is he's going to enchant my weapon, which is my lovely flogger.
Yeah.
And that one weapon will gain advantage on all attacks
Incredible.
until the end of the encounter,
Yes.
as well as some following specials.
There's some stuff. There's some fun stuff.
Hell yeah.
Great. So that's your action to kind of, you see your flog. How do you think your flogger changes with the influence of the war god? It was gifted to you. Oh my god, you fucking have it. I didn't see it. I had so much stuff on this table, I didn't see it. Oh my, of course you have it.
You were distracted by everything of my
I literally
today.
didn't see the bear
Just give
hat
the
until
table
it
a
was
good
too
smack,
late.
You know, just a little baby.
So how do you think does the flogger now, how do you think the flogger changes with the influence of the war god?
Given that some of the options for these specials, I will be ridiculously powerful looking. Yes, when I make this attack, and
Sorry, I'm yelling at you in the chat. Don't worry about it.
do tell me in the chat. Show the kids at home. Is that TOS?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
No.
What do you mean?
It's
It's
We're not
Timing.
using it on
Why am I
My
camera.
lovely weapon. Here you go.
It's
I
a-
don't
it's a-
know.
Let 'em
it's
do
a-
It's been on the table the whole time.
It's
so
been on the
it's
table the whole time.
already
See?
fine.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Will
It's
not be
fine.
giving a tutorial on how to use it.
No, that's
Let's
TOS.
That's on the Patreon.
Yeah, post-mortem, like
Private
post-mortem.
content.
Oh.
You're
Wait, what?
welcome.
No, there's something else.
No, we don't have time to talk about it. There are smilers afoot.
There he goes.
It's off the rails.
Winning the streak.
I told you.
I'm going to where people will swing their flogs.
Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Again,
Just
that is
unzip,
for
you
the
little bitch. Come on.
paying audience,
Yeah.
Danny.
He shouldn't have had.
Uh-oh, he's
a
and he's
gin.
taking off his pants. Uh-oh, he's okay, sorry. TOS.
I wear Velcro.
Quick
Bard,
change.
everyone needs a tutorial. Safety first.
Y'all gotta buy us dinner first, though. We're not gonna just give you a tutorial for free.
This drink isn't even halfway done, but I need another
What are they
one.
saying in the chat?
Nonsense. They're saying
We
in the
love you,
chat.
chat. We
Go
love
join the
you.
Patreon. Maybe you'll
Someone
find
said
out.
only fans.
Only for fans.
Only for fans. I'm
Hey.
crying.
Hey, Kira, you get a fucking advantage. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you right now. You get
Yeah.
you get an extra D6 on whatever you do next because that was really funny.
That was so good.
So saith the master.
Yes.
So what happens to what happens to Darmin's flogger? We gotta get back on track.
With my
Says you.
flogger, it's actually going to start to have this like purple glow
Ooh.
to it. You can just see a little bit of this power, and what you can
Rip it,
hear
rip it,
in a way is you can hear this like
You open in here.
little angelic hum
Ooh.
coming from it. It's warming up.
Like a Valkyrie chorus, just like this
You
warm,
can- yeah,
like
it-
humming of
There-
voices.
It's getting ready. It's getting ready. It's getting ready for what it's about to do.
Okay. Does the War God's enchant weapon allow you to attack in the same casting of that scripture, or?
It does not say yes or no.
I think that's cool. I'm gonna let you do it.
Fantastic.
So go ahead and you can roll an attack on the person, on the Smiler that is in melee with you. Add your D12. This roll, please.
Beautiful.
And this will be a strength
Excellent.
pool, since it is your physical weapon.
I can do that.
Do
and
it.
I have one disadvantage.
Mhm.
So, all right, this will be my last disadvantage. Get rid of that
Yeah.
bitch.
Thank you to Hardliner who gave us those last week. Much
Yeah.
appreciated.
You know what? I'm going to also use an advantage. to
Cancel it out.
So,
Heck yeah.
Use up those advantages now, baby.
All
There's
right.
nothing else after this.
so it's going to be a 0-2 left on me.
Only 8:30. This is
Ah.
fun.
All right, I got a 5-4-4.
544. Oh man, nice and chunky. Not like the lake. You.
I thought it was smooth.
It is smooth. Yeah, it is not chunky. It is in fact smooth. So with this purple glow and this hum, sort of cutting through this awful, like vicious laughter that is now filling the open air in this space. You throw your flogger out from your outstretched hand and whip it around, and almost in combination with the god of the wild, it starts to grow these nasty looking thorns on the end of it.
Exactly.
And it's just 3 of those strands sink in to its neck and up like across its face. And it recoils, taking a sizable hit, and keeps on laughing.
And while that's happening, the angelic choir is just gonna start singing as I strike him.
That's all I can say.
And by the way, I look absolutely amazing as this is happening.
Oh yeah.
Just imagine my slow-mo, my fur just like wafting in the wind.
I'm gonna tell you
just
right
like,
now. I went to Pride in San Diego, and this is still the best bear I've seen all month.
That was good.
Hey, thanks.
So
awesome.
it hasn't gone down yet. He's
Nope, still up.
just there laughing. All
Still
right.
up, laughing a little more raggedly, I would suppose, not with the same vigor. But until then, Sword Boy, you're up.
Okay. Would you consider this to be a mob?
We can call the 3 that are closest, the 3 sword bearers. We can call them a mob because they're the closest to
Three
you.
of them are a mob.
Yeah, there's the one that Gibbs shot, the one that Ronnie just decimated with the flogger, and then the one that's up next to you. We can call that a small little mob. Is this for creative violence?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Love
I'll
creative
just. I think I'll just.
That's fine.
3 at once. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna try and use creative violence to defeat the 3 swordsmen.
Cool. Okay.
Okay, so I only roll 1 die, so I don't really know.
You're
how-
rolling your D8,
Yes,
right? I think the
correct.
rule is you have to roll and meet or exceed your emotional level, if I'm not mistaken.
which is only at 2.
So you just have to not roll
so
a 1.
I just have to not roll a 1.
I believe in you.
Yeah. Okay. There's a 3.
Hey.
There we go.
Okay. That does. I am
Great.
no longer on my emotional scale.
How? Yes. So your emotional scale resets to 0.
Yeah.
How
Which is rough.
do you think Mal, the sword boy, channels this like thrumming grief that's been coursing through them so far? How do they channel this into a force strong enough to dispatch 3 swordsmen at once?
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's just like, I think it's almost like just senseless, like violence. I think it's just like hacking and slashing. I think like tears kind of well up and start like falling, and I think they kind of like even have like a little bit of a sheen to them,
Mhm.
and it's just, he doesn't know what he's doing. It is just like it's
Yeah.
hacking, and they're gone, but he doesn't stop.
Laughing until the very end, you with tears streaming like strands of diamonds down your face, falling into the sand and disappearing. Mal effortlessly, you dispatch the one directly in front of you with a series of strikes, and then just swing wildly, and this wave of bladed anguish just moves out of your sword, and this massive energy just bifurcates the other two. They are split in half, and they laugh for a little too long as they bleed out in the sand.
Gross.
But your emotional scale is now back to 0.
Yeah.
And this sort of weird numbness kind of sets in once the tears dry and you straighten up again. It's just kind of nothing. Just the epitome of neutral. And I like to think musically about these moments a lot. And I think with your arcane weapon being constant reminders of figures in your life that sort of have grief surrounding them for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think of like a pop song that your sister used to like, that you just kind of hear, this is such a stupid reference, but that weird slow cover of Crazy in Love by Beyonce for the 50 Shades of Grey movie.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds, it's like a cover, it's like One Kiss by Dua Lipa, but it's being sung really like like a dirge, but that's just sitting in the background of your head.
Yeah.
And you kind of go glassy, just one kiss is all it takes. Like
Yeah.
a really like desolate moment in your head as you like, as the dust kind of clears from these combatants. But you have used your violence creatively.
Yeah.
That is for certain.
2 to go.
Okay,
Wow.
excellent. Moving on. The large hulking figure that Aurora used her voice on. I'll tell you his name now because I'm really proud of it. He's the Grin Keeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's like the
I
Grim
it.
Reaper, but he's the Grin Keeper.
All right.
Gold star for Nick. No, don't do that. But he sort of scrambles away, turns back, and looks at the mage who's still recovering from this bullet they got through their clavicle, and says, "Thurok, we gotta go!" And starts scrambling in the sand, kind of trips and falls to his knees, scrambles back up, and with an open mouth just dives
Oh yeah.
into the peanut butter
Mm-hmm.
and slowly starts to sink, screaming and laughing and screaming until bloop.
I wave.
Can you get that back to Brooke for me?
Was all that's left the mage?
Thank you.
All that is left is the mage,
Thurok.
and it's Thurok, and it's their turn. They're at the end of this order.
But
I'm in trouble.
Actually, the Grim Keeper was at the end. It doesn't matter. They're gone. I think the Grim Keeper, or I'm sorry, the Thurok, the jokester, looks at this group of people and is going to frantically start that chant again, but without any thralls to echo them. He turns to you all instead.
uh-oh.
I'd like for all of you to roll a charisma dice pool.
Fuck.
Please.
I'm gonna use my advantage to cancel out my disadvantage.
Absolutely.
I'm also going to use an advantage because fuck this. Don't
I will
like
be
it.
using an advantage. Brooke, I think you still have disadvantage.
I have one, but I'm gonna.
I got a 6.
My charisma's high enough that I'm gonna just try to be confident.
Go for it.
Oh,
Shouldn't
no.
have been. Oh God.
I got a 4, a 3, and a 3.
1,
Okay.
2, 3.
I got
Okay.
a 4-3-2.
I
Okay.
got 1 failure, 1 success, but my success was a 6.
I should have.
I don't
burned my
think there's a
advantage. That was
special
so
on that,
stupid.
but just so you know.
fucked.
Did anybody else only get one success?
1 success.
Is a 3 a success?
No, 4 and above.
Four and
so
above,
one
one
success.
success.
One success for all of you. Yours was
Failures
a
across the
6, so we'll call that. And then you had a 3, a 2, and a 1.
I failed across the board. Yeah.
Sort of taken aback by this sort of frenzied hyena like zealot laughter. Most of you kind of are taken aback seeing how quickly you've dispatched the rest of their group. They're like, the fuck? Is this guy serious? This guy serious? This guy's going, what's and the three, Gibbs and Ronnie, are now laughing uncontrollably and have a disadvantage on the next thing you decide to do on your next turn.
Shit.
And on top of that, seeing that Mal just resisted this effect and destroyed their foot soldiers, the jokester is going to pull this awful sort of rusted knife out of a pocket behind it, just cut one side of it, smile a little wider, and hurl it at you.
Gross.
Contamination, biohazard. Ah!
Okay. That is, why do I have all these dice? Okay, there we go. Go ahead and that's 2 successes.
Okay.
So, yes, even with the removal from your defense, that's 2 successes. How many guard do you have left?
I have 1 guard and 3 health.
Remove 1 guard and 1 health. You take
Okay.
1 wound. And since this hit wounds, he seems a bit revitalized by that. Great. Okay. Back to the top is, I'm sorry, Aurora, you would have been affected by the laughter as well, since you failed across
Yeah.
the board. So we're back up to you. You see that the raging killer sort of moved its way into the and you're into the lake, and your die comes back and sort of settles back around your neck. It is your turn to act.
Okay.
But laughing uncontrollably as you do it.
Okay. So, but I haven't been like, because I didn't have any successes.
Actually, that's a good point. I'd say that also, actually,
I just want to be fair.
no, that's a good point. I think with no successes, and one of them was a 1, right?
Yeah.
That's a crit fail.
Mm-hmm.
Gibbs would be the closest person to you. Roll a dexterity dice pool.
Okay.
Oh.
2, 2, and 3. Oh.
Okay.
Is that also having to use your disadvantage that you have, or is that?
I don't have any
not?
left. I just used my last.
You used the last one. Okay, cool.
Mhm. Yeah, hers were all.
Just making sure.
Yeah. So you start to move toward. You're laughing so hard you like need to prop yourself up on something, and you sort of move yourself towards Gibbs because he's the closest, and also laughing, and kind of go to reach for his shoulder, and as you do, that magical death touch kind of wells up in your palm a little bit. And while you go to place a hand on his shoulder, not realizing that you are about to harm him, he looks as though he's going to move out of the way, but you re-stumble. Roll that dice pool again.
Okay.
The master has used a token.
Ah.
Oh.
6, 1, 5. All right. Jesus.
What happens when you crit both ways?
Take, how many guard do you have left?
Me?
Yeah.
1.
Take one, remove 1 guard and 1 health. Aurora places a hand on you to steady herself with this laughter, and you feel even through your metallic carapace, a burning like heat metal, like you feel it welling and boiling underneath and burning you grievously.
Sure.
Laughing.
Ouch.
Still laughing out loud.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Am I under the control of this thing, or am I just overwhelmed by its power?
At the end of your turn, especially realizing that you've just hurt Gibbs, you shake out of it.
Okay.
But that's the very end of your turn. So you're not through it periodically. It was just because of that amount of failure from that roll, it consumes you for a full round.
That's fine. I just wanted to, because I was like, I wanted to almost use one step ahead, but then I was like, if it's over, then it's over, and we save
That
it.
would have been the end of your turn.
Yeah, cool. No
Good
worries.
thought, though. I keep that in mind. Okay, so that would have been Aurora's turn at the top of the round. You would be next. So
right.
You didn't fully fail.
Sure.
So you are still laughing despite this wound. You yelp, but there's still a laughter to it. And you have your action to do with as you wish, but with a disadvantage added on top of it.
Am I able to get to him and do something?
To the mage?
Yeah.
He's too far away.
Too far away?
You would have to, even if you would probably have to spend, because you can use your action to kind of do any of your typical things. You can also kind of do a dash essentially and move 2 movement fields essentially. So right now I'd say you're at medium range. You'd have to use your full turn to go from medium to close and from close to melee.
I have a plan.
Okay.
I would like to, bing! I'm gonna spend another one of my coins and put it in here. I put it all into Cody too, and I'm gonna boost up the distracting to an nth degree. So I want to basically supercharge the length of his tongue. So I want him to basically wound punch him where I already shot him, so that it will like make him recoil. And I want to just, when he opens his mouth, I'm like, you think that's funny?
Great.
And I'm gonna.
You're overcharging Cody too. So before you roll your weapon, roll just your D10.
Sure.
And let me know the result.
Damn.
That's a 6.
So this succeeds, but with a consequence.
All right.
So you are able. So yes, you were able to do as described. Cody 2 with renewed energy and fair gold overcharged zips forward, extends their weird like metallic tongue attachment to lick the wound, so to speak, and distract it so it kind of peels back, but it gets a little too long and recoils back. And it's going to, I'm just going to roll a basic dexterity pool to see if it hits you.
This might be the end of me.
Oh no.
That's 1 success. So how many health do you have left?
1?
Remove 1 health.
But,
Before you can get your shot off.
Yep.
You're aimed, you said you think that's funny, and then ping in the eye that's not aiming.
Oh shit, yeah.
And you're knocked back and you fall into the sand. Incapacitated. You are not in danger of death at this moment, but you are knocked out for the time being. But Cody 2 is still like this metallic, chittering, chitinous sound is like ready to get up into the mix doing little lizard push-ups. But,
I love the lizard push-ups.
How close are they to the peanut butter lake?
The mage?
No, Gibbs.
Gibbs? He's
Yeah.
a fair distance from it. He's not like in danger of rolling into it or anything.
Okay.
No, environmentally he fell back like into a hill that's going this way, so he's kind of laying back on a hill. He's not gonna like roll
He's
down.
fine.
If he had really critically failed, then maybe, but no, we're good. Great. Well, everyone else is gone, so I'll move on to. I think you had gone first, so we'll move to Ronnie now.
Excellent.
You just got the mage, and with that knife throw, you saw that knife get tossed at Mal, and you notice like as it flew through the air and picked up speed, something like really strangely accurate about it. You could have sworn you saw another hand kind of guided on its way.
All right, so we just have the one mage left. Everybody
Yes.
else is gone.
Yes, Thurok the
All
Jokester is
right.
the only one left out of the combatants that you can see.
All right, so we're calling on our god of the wild
'Kay.
to summon a beast.
All right. Tell
And
me all
so summon a beast that lives in this habitat you're presently in. Can it be a motherfucking sandworm? Can we go a la Tremors or Dune with this shit?
Oh yeah, there's worm sign as fuck. Yeah, let's do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's smaller. It's are there qualifications for the beast that you can summon?
It just says it obeys me for an encounter. The beast stats all begin
Yeah.
at 2, and for every
Great.
success I roll, it increases.
So it's like the child of like Sandy from Beetlejuice, like that black and white striped worm. It's like a younger version of that. So it's still, I mean, by all comparison, it's big even compared to you, but it's not like a world-sized monster like in Dune. But it's big.
Excellent.
It's big and scary. For sure.
Excellent.
And yeah, it like munches its way out of the sand.
Fantastic. So I'm summoning this sandworm. We're just gonna call it Sandy. I like that.
Sandy's good.
Our sandworm's name is Sandy.
Sandy, absolutely.
And we're just gonna send it over there to go ahead and attack that mage.
Does it use your attack stats or does it have stats of its
All
own?
stats are at 2 right now.
Great. Go ahead and roll a strength dice pool for your worm.
Beautiful.
Kira, yes, that is exactly where I got that from. There's a giant snake here. Thank you.
I got a crit. I got a 6. Did you take a little nibble?
I want you to let me know how your sandworm munches upon our friend Thurok the Jokester.
Does
and
he
removes
knock
them
him?
from the encounter.
Oh, removes them? Okay.
He's being eaten.
I would like to see my sandworm. My sandworm's going to have a tongue. I don't care. It's
That's
going
allowed.
to go ahead and come up, crane over. You're just going to see this, like, just a bunch of teeth, like you would normally see in a sandworm. But you're going to have this tongue that comes out and just licks the cheek of this basically Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Decide that it was extremely delicious. You just see him start to salivate and then just go down and just in one giant bite, you just see it go back down like a snake.
As it's about to be consumed, you still hear as it gets digested and moved.
Fantastic. Then he's just gonna go back and do his doom.
What a dream.
Yeah, as quickly as he appears, it is gone, but having had a little snack on its way, a little peanut butter scented snack with a little bone. And the dust and sand settle once the beast moves on its way. And Aurora, you're the first to see this. That Gibbs is laid out on the sand, not moving.
I think I go to like touch him to see if he's okay, but I pull my hands back nervously.
Oh.
And I don't even know what to say. I think she's a little scared of her own voice at this time.
Sure.
And she just kind of stands bewildered. She doesn't know what to do.
Okay.
Can I just go shake him?
Yes. Go ahead and roll. I'm kind of basing this off of D&D. Like this would like be a medicine check. I don't know. This isn't D&D. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
What kind of check do you think you would want to make for this kind of action? I'll let you choose.
Well,
Like it could be like a constitution pool to like rouse his body. It could be a charisma pool
sure.
to like get his spirits up.
I guess Constitution would
Sure.
make the most sense
Yeah,
to me.
go ahead and roll a Constitution pool.
It's something that I have 3 in.
Absolutely. Go for it. Yeah, and you're out of disadvantage, right?
I should be out of disadvantage.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
you're
all, I think I'm all even Stevens. I can't use my D8 though, because I'm not
Correct.
sad enough.
And it's not an attack either. So yeah.
Yeah. So I got 2 4s and 1.
Excellent. Great. You sort of yeah, exactly. I would say you're still at 0 health, but you are no longer unconscious.
Oh, I feel like shit.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
We're good. We did the thing.
Great. I
So
was gonna shoot him.
well, you didn't. So
I got
it's
tongue punched.
maybe next time, man.
You okay?
Yeah, just my ego.
Eh.
I'm sorry.
Why?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
It wasn't your fault.
Yeah. You went through a lot, man. It was yeah.
It looked painful.
Oh, wait, no, it hurt. No, it hurt terribly.
But you're good now. You're good. You're
You
good
didn't
now.
know. You're
And,
fine.
He's not dead.
yeah. You're not dead.
I don't have a healing thing, right? It's not a thing? I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure.
Ronnie, you hear a voice kind of enter your consciousness, a lilting, maternal, sort of kind voice. Oh, how wild you've become, my dear. Your friend could use some help. I can aid you if you'd like.
Maybe. How can we aid him?
Well, nature heals just as much as it harms. I mean, usually to itself, but we could do our best to heal him together. I make quite a healing salve, I promise. Only the best herbs. For you.
maybe just a little bit. We want to keep things interesting.
God.
A wild child indeed. Okay, just lay a hand upon him, and I'll do the rest.
I'm gonna go and take my little bear paw, just right onto the side of Gibbs's face.
Great.
And then just sort of like sink my claws in just a little.
Yeah,
Just a little.
those are
Roll
bigger and sharper than they look.
roll a wisdom dice pool with an advantage and add your d12.
Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. I need one more die. Thank you.
Mine from here to
It's just all moved. Everyone moved one down. There's a whole tray of them.
Clean cup, move down.
Okay, I got 2 4s and a 5, but I also have 2 crit fails.
So that's okay. A critical fail only happens if all of your dice are below 4 and at
Okay.
least one of them is a 1. So if you have successes in ones, the ones
Yes.
don't matter.
All right,
The
fantastic.
successes are more important. What did you roll on your d12? A 5 or a 4?
A 4.
Okay, great. So that's 3 successes. I will say, since we're sort of out of combat, you can give Gibbs up to 3 health back since you got 3 successes. But I'll let you decide how much you want to give him, since you said we have to keep things interesting just a little bit. So you have 3 to spend on him. You can spend them however you
Gibbs
want.
is going to get 2 health back.
Okay.
Fuck happens to the other one?
We'll say that one goes. Did you have health taken at all? Health or
I
discard?
only my guard was taken.
I had some help taken.
Well, I didn't claw you, no, did I?
I'm just saying, just sharing. I'm doing great.
You just hear the voice in your conscious go, "Oh, such abundance. You would make a fine healer. I'm very proud of you." And it sort of leaves your consciousness. And you feel a cooling effect, kind of like a coolant, not necessarily a proper salve, but like a coolant kind of release under your carapace a little bit and kind of cool the burns. And it's a little mentholy, but it's invigorating.
I think as Aurora watches this, you can see some envy cross her features. Like there's this realization of all I can actually do is hurt people. Even when I make them love me, it's still painful. And it stings her a little bit, but she brushes it away.
Roll a charisma dice pool for me.
Okay.
Straight, no d4.
Okay.
Just your 4, 6, yeah.
4, 3, 1, 4.
Great, 2 successes. I think that feeling of the absence of admiration is really present to you in that moment, being something that you tend to have control over in many facets of your life, being in the social sort of status you had when you were in school, being the mother of a daughter who loves you and that you know that she admires you. You never have to question it.
Mm-hmm.
And in this moment now, questioning that loyalty is kind of alien and it doesn't feel good. A moment of sort of a claw, like a lump in your throat, as if you were to say something, kind of wells up and you swallow it.
Okay.
And the only sounds around you now are the wind. And you look up, finally sort of looking back up at the horizon after this harrowing encounter, and see that the sky has gone a bit darker orange. That time has passed faster than you imagined it would. And that you take it, the sun is beginning to set wherever it is. You can't really see a big spot of light where a sun would be, but the orange hue of the sky is sort of an indicator that the hours grow a bit late.
Let's go make sure Wax isn't dead.
Yeah.
What about Bennett?
I mean, can I check with Fairfield to see if he's the Bennett I found is still in the same place?
You check the Fairfield, and it shows you the mini map again.
Mm-hmm.
He never got a chance to say it because Mal cut him in half, but one of the two, one of the swordsmen was attributed to the name Bennett.
Oh.
Not the Bennett that you know, but was just a,
We just
a
killed
facsimile, the owner of
A
the
guy
name and everything
named
else.
Bennett. All
Hey,
right,
Bennett.
well.
Thank you, Fairfield.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's get back to Lucas.
Well, now we know what the laughers or what are they called?
Smilers.
Smilers. We know what
Smilers.
the smilers are.
Hey, you did a great job taking down the big boy. I don't think we would have.
I wasn't sure how well it was going to work. I was honestly
No,
a
that
little
was cool.
surprised. Yeah.
You cut people in half?
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
kind of kick ass, low key. We're kind of
Yeah.
good at this.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah, but that's just like
You don't remember?
no, I remember. There's just like a lot. There was like a lot going on. There's just
Yeah.
slashing. It's just no, it wasn't like cool like the
I don't know.
The
I
peanut
think we're
butter
all
thing.
pretty kick ass.
I got knocked out by my chameleon's tongue. So.
Yeah.
yeah, but after you did
But
a
it
bunch of
wasn't
like
really,
other
it
cool
was-
stuff.
Just me again. It wasn't really.
You were the only reason we even knew they were coming. What they would have got the drop on us?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
We
shit.
would
We
have
would've
been
been-
kind of fucked.
Effed. Yeah, for real.
Fucked.
We would have been
Oh,
Okay.
wait,
Yeah.
sorry. Comedy's illegal.
No.
We're in private. It's fine. But
It's fine. No one's here to laugh at you anymore. You're safe.
Let's head over to see if wax is melted.
I dropped a pin in my brain. So just walk
Yeah. Your parked car. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go back and find it. Sure. You spend the next couple of hours. It's a little bit easier this time. It's tiring, especially after the fight that you encountered, climbing back up the dunes that you had fallen down previously. But you at least have a better bearing on direction. As you get back into range of the road that you had left, I want everyone to roll a wisdom dice pool for me.
5 and 5.
2 successes.
2 6s.
I
Two
got
big
one
successes.
success, but it was a 6.
All
Okay.
fails.
Okay, great. As you move up, Darmeen is a little farther towards the back, kind of taking up point and at the rear of the group. With your enhanced vision, Gibbs, walking up, you would expect for some kind of indicator or vision of where you remember Lucas cloaking the vehicle. And you don't sense anything like that. But with your superior vision, your left eye kind of locks in and squares on a few pieces of black shrapnel.
Oh,
God.
no.
Oh, fuck. I run over there. I just
I
start
almost
digging.
said one of us should have stayed back.
As you
would've
dig
died.
through, you find more shrapnel pieces. Something clearly, as it got darker, just got lucky and stomped its way through and somehow wrenched the light projector apart and ruined the illusion. And Lucas was quick to follow. You find most of his body
Oh.
amongst what remains in the scrap.
What parts of his body?
Your Fairfield tells you. Again, your left eye illuminates, scans, and gives you a message. Gift acquisition, imminent. Salvage recommended. And gives you 3 options. You see enough broken pieces of his cybernetic frame that was hidden under his clothes that you, with a diagram from your AI showing you that you could take some of this shrapnel and refit your gun, your rifle. Mechanically, this would give you the gun gift and 1 upgrade of your choice.
Ooh.
You also see in the center, most of his torso and his chassis still remains, and you see, despite his essence being gone, the light thrumming and actually even a very soft little blue glow of a little core in his chest, like a small little reactor of some kind. This would mechanically give you access to cybernetic enhancement and the reactor upgrade. which essentially gives you 3 free fair gold charges that you can use for overcharges per day.
Cool.
But you have to activate the cybernetic enhancement to get the reactor.
Got
So you
it.
would still need gold
Gotta plug
to
one
get
in
to the
or
extra stuff.
Chain
Yeah.
reaction. Cool.
And similarly, you would need gold for the gun.
Mm-hmm.
But your cybernetic or your AI, excuse me, shows you that rather than taking the reactor and installing it within yourself, that there would be a way to kind of salvage the wreckage, sort of take these discs apart and give you 3 de facto fair gold, rather than using the coins themselves, that they could be utilized in a similar energetic manner.
Mhm.
Rather than installing the reactor in yourself, you would just get 3 more fair gold that you would have to use instead. So those are sort of your options. And then you see also, unrelated to his gifts as a Neo, you see a small leather pouch overturned in the sand with some little glittery shards kind of coming out of it.
I
So-
take the pouch. I can't wear pieces of him. I failed this dude.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I go for.
And you leave the rest of it?
Yep.
Great. You pick up the pouch and kind of search through it. It looks like these sort of little rhomboid kind of shards of, they look like glass or crystal. They're reflective. They're kind of transparent. Your Fairfield pipes up and says, "Prisma detected." You sort of click through a couple of spots in your AI at the mention of the word Prisma, sort of takes you down a little tree of information. And you are elucidated of the fact that Prisma is essentially this world's version of like what gold would be in Dungeons and Dragons. People pay for goods and services, any number of things in Prisma. So where you would say, I'm going to buy this potion for 50 gold, you're buying it for 50 Prisma in this world. It's money.
Won't take his arm, but I took his wallet. Good enough. Sling it over.
Go ahead and roll an intelligence pool for me.
Okay.
This will determine how much is in there for you.
I got a 4 and 2.
Great. Okay, awesome. So let me roll this up.
Great
quickly.
success.
Okay. 31. You find 51 Prisma.
Woo!
51 money that you can
That's
use. Go and pocket that.
Hey, I'm super bummed out by this. Like this guy is
Crank it
dead.
up to 1.
Okay.
You got it.
I just wanted to let you know.
Oh, you tell me whenever you want to. You let me know.
I'm like crazy bummed out.
Yeah.
So
There's a moment of
we
silence,
fucked up.
and it, as you sort of stand around the shrapnel of his remains, it pretty quickly it becomes harder to see because it is getting darker.
Mhm.
The night sky is imminent, and it is not black or navy like one would expect. It's sparsely dotted with stars, and instead takes on the darkest, near black forest green. The yellow of the sky during the day maintains during the night, and this dark, dark, dark forest green sky begins to set as you stand amidst Lucas's shrapnel. And the night is yours to do with what you will. What do you do?
Do you think he was like us?
What do you mean?
What if he came here and was here so long he forgot everything else? What if he's just a guy?
This is
no,
Bennett's
there's no
world,
way.
right?
No way. There's no way.
There's no
here's
way
the-
that
no.
we can be here either.
No, I mean like he was like a candle maker named like Lucas Wax that has been written all over it. Like he.
Yeah, and right
He's
now
just
I'm
like
a
a-
guy named Wayne.
Yeah, but you picked. Okay.
I think Bennett created this world, and so the NPCs just don't need to think that far back.
I think I'm with Gibbs on this one. Do you really think that we're Bennett's first try at this?
When I
Who else would he have done this with?
was gonna ask him tonight, but when I was talking to him, I mentioned Cody, and he had a glimpse of recognition.
What?
Wax did?
Yeah. It was a quick little moment. I thought it's a strange little thing, but I didn't follow up because I figured we'd see him tonight.
Maybe it was just Bennett shining through for a second.
You better shine
You
faster.
think like everybody but us is Bennett?
Maybe.
Isn't that how the game usually is?
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, no, he wasn't
Interesting.
he wasn't a real like guy, so it's yeah.
I think the more that we make these people real, the more it's going to weigh on us, and it would not behoove us to think that way while we're in this world. I'm not going
So
to
then-
continue thinking that way.
If nothing matters while we're here, why don't we just go?
Mal, your sword pipes up, and it's that feminine voice you heard earlier. Yeah, why would you even stay here?
Well, because like what if Cody's here?
Cody's not here, so
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you don't know that.
You know
The
what?
whole point of us being here was to like honor his memory. You don't think he's like waiting at the end of it?
I don't know.
You don't think Bennett would put him in?
I left a long time ago. I wouldn't know anything about that.
Cody's fucking dead too.
Yeah, it says fucking Lucas, so why are you still talking about him? Sorry.
That's all right.
Let's make camp.
Yeah.
Great. Lucas had parked. There was a sort of cluster of, I don't know, like 8-9 foot tall rocks, not too far away, just a natural jutting of earth from the sand. And so you would be able to, if you want to scrounge or scavenge any of what remains in the space he used to hold, you may. But otherwise, you can move towards that sort of rocky outcropping a little bit, and kind of set up in whatever way you see fit. You gather that maybe facing a side facing the road would be a bit safer than a side facing the sands. Just what all the locals say about it. But you may make camp as you wish, using anything you can find in the vicinity.
Cody 2, campfire mode.
More chittering sounds, and it just kind of like, it weirdly like sits back, like its back legs like hinge out really, really, really far, but sits back like a dog and just opens its mouth and lights like a brazier in the middle of it, and gives you a little light and a little warmth of in this space, as it does, like deserts do, get quite cold when the sun goes down. So it's getting a bit cold.
Man, I wish we had some marshmallows. Wouldn't that be like this shit right now?
Nice.
Ronnie's just gonna do a little donut.
Mhm.
Just to tuck my nose in under my haunches.
I know I don't need food. Do I need sleep?
Do you ask the Fairfield?
Yes. Hey, Fairfield, if food's a maybe, do I need rest?
Rest is recommended.
Yeah,
Is it
okay.
required? No. But we do recommend it. It is one of the things that can happen.
Right. Yeah, so I lay back and kind of like worrying my little shoulder hole.
As you lay back, that you feel a shift in that little side pocket in your torso. And the only thing that comes out is that little white card that Kerrigan gave you. And it flips over onto the sand to the backside, where it says, "Dead players do not get a vote."
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Cool.
Bonk.
Great.
Good night.
Roll a dexterity. Oh, I'm sorry. Roll a wisdom dice pool.
1 and a 4.
Great. You remain pretty vigilant.
I do everything pretty.
Yes, you certainly do. There's no question about that. Yeah, you remain vigilant in your watch. Relatively quiet. A rustle here, a shuffle there. Nothing that encumbers you or gives you any pause for concern. And I think with the quiet here now, that little tug of envy fades just a little bit. There are no voices with which to be envious of, or opinions for that matter. And do you think Aurora does anything during this watch as she sort of sits alone?
I think while her friends lay there, she'll hum whatever little lullaby she would usually sing to Charlie.
Mhm.
And she'll just to keep herself awake and entertained and alert.
What do you think is one of Aurora's favorite memories of Cody? Like, what do you think is something that comes to mind for her as like a favorite thing, like a thing he always wore, or a thing that he said, or something like that?
I think she just appreciated his lightheartedness, like as the class clown. Everyone always seemed to take everything so seriously, and he just didn't, and she appreciated that about him.
Just like the levity of his spirit, like
Yeah.
always could like lift a room.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, I think you relish in that moment for just a little bit. Who do you wake up to go on watch next?
I think she'll go over to the little cinnamon roll that is Darmeen, give him a little scritch behind the ears, and just,
see my little ears start twitching.
yeah. Hi, I need to sleep. Will you stay up for a couple hours?
And just for that. And just shake my head and say, fine.
And I'll lay my head back on your big bear belly and go to sleep.
And once Aurora has fallen asleep, I'm just going to go ahead and gently lift her and place her on the ground.
Great. Go ahead and make a wisdom dice pool for me.
You got one success.
Okay, awesome. Similarly, you remain pretty vigilant. You are a giant mound of terror, but a relatively quiet one. You remain unencumbered. In the midst of your watch, Zorna's voice creeps back into your consciousness for just a moment. A warrior's touch and a healing hand. Interesting.
I'm complicated.
Aren't we all? It makes me wonder, were you built to harm or built to help?
I'm built to tease out the best story.
What sort of story do you think you are telling now? Are you victorious? Will they sing your praises in the future? Will they remember you?
They'll remember me. For what? That's yet to be determined.
Quite brazen to assume you shall be remembered.
If I'm remembered, you're remembered.
I am always remembered.
Here we go.
Maintain your focus, little bear. Do not let your eyes wander. And their influence leaves the back of your head with a bit of a feeling of disdain. Take one god debt for the war god.
Eek.
Excellent.
Otherwise, your watch goes unimpeded. Who do you wake up next to go on watch?
What I'm going to go ahead and do is first, I'm just going to go over to Mal while they're sleeping and just sort of growl lightly in their ear. I am attempting to wake them up just with a little bit of terror.
Sure. Some
Yeah.
hot breath and a little growl enter
I'd
your
probably-
consciousness.
Work. Yeah. Ugh.
It's your turn.
Hey,
Ronnie?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would it be that?
Why the fuck would it be what?
Why would you do that?
I'm a
No, hey, no, look
fucking
at me.
bear.
No, don't. I want you to look at me. Why would you do that? Ronnie?
Malcolm.
You're not a fucking bear, dude. You're a human person.
Do I look
What-
like a human person?
No, and you're not acting like one.
It's your turn for walk.
Go to sleep.
Do what I want.
Clearly.
I'm just gonna go wander off just a little bit over by Aurora. I'm going to curl up again, but I'm not going to sleep. I'm keeping an eye on Malcolm.
Okay, great. No worries. A wisdom dice pool from Malcolm.
Cool. One success, 2 and a 6.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I don't do anything crazy. I just sit there and do a watch, and I don't
Yeah.
try and kill Ronnie like he thinks I'm going to. I just sit there like a normal person.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're good. No, of course. Yeah, you maintain your watch. You stay vigilant, despite the fact that vigilance does not empower you, but you remain vigilant nonetheless. You remain relatively unimpeded, but in your focus, it doesn't really occur to you until the end of your watch that a while into it, you started humming, or you started hearing the humming of a song.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really place it at first, and realize it's coming from your sword. And it's just a very soft hum in an androgynous voice. But as you kind of key into it a little bit and pay a little bit more attention to it, you recognize the tune of Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you.
You know that song?
Of course I do.
That song exists here?
Anything can exist here.
Hmm.
Depends on the person that made it. I really do like
Hey.
that song.
Can I ask you a weird question?
Yeah.
Are you Bennett?
Who's that?
I think everybody's Bennett.
Sounds like a pretty important
That's like the running theory right now, is that everybody but us is Bennett.
If that's true, then sounds like quite a guy. If he's everywhere and everything.
Yeah, he's nice enough. I thought he was. And now we're doing this shit.
You hear
I
a
don't know.
voice from out of sight, and it's not coming from your sword. Around the side of the rock that you can't see, after you say, you said he's nice enough, but I don't know anymore, something like that.
Mm.
What changed? Bennett walks out from the side of the rock.
No way.
In his glorious white, pristine white suit, wheat gold pocket square, an ornate white feathered mask, and a silver holstered revolver at his waist. I'm so sorry, what changed?
What do you mean what changed, dude? We're doing this thing and we're gonna die.
It's no fun if there aren't consequences, right?
Yeah,
It's
but
gotta be a little dangerous.
Yeah, but a little dangerous is a lot different than we're are we we could die here, right?
I wouldn't let you die. I mean, unless you did something really stupid, but you guys never really did anything like that.
I'm,
Right?
I'm in a party with fucking Bear Boy.
They seem like they're handling themselves pretty well. I mean, they did pick Gibbs back up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's all part of the adventure. If it's not scary, it's not fun, right?
I mean, I guess. Where are you? Are you like, you're keeping an eye on us though?
Of course. And I'm here. I'm here,
Yeah, you are.
he says a little bit louder, and that kind of rouses the rest of you.
Motherfucker! I punch him square in the fucking mouth.
Oh shit.
He pulls a wall of force before you can get to him, and he'll spend another token.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Hold on. Listen, I understand. I understand. I know it's not the end yet. This isn't the end yet. I mean, it can be. You know, you got the note, but I just wanted to check in. You know, I just wanted to see how you guys were doing. It seems like you're handling everything really well.
No, we're not. Lucas is dead.
He wasn't a real person, right?
Who's to say what's real in this place?
Fuck does that mean, Bennett? Was that a
Was
person?
he a real
No.
person
he
in
died
our
what,
world?
to serve your story?
No, of course not. No.
Okay.
No.
Are there other people like us here? Are we the first you brought into this world?
I'd be really surprised if there were other people here besides us. This was
Okay.
meant for
Okay.
for
okay.
us.
Okay, that's what I
Oh.
thought.
I promise. I mean, I know that my word maybe doesn't mean a lot right now. I understand that, but I gotta keep the screen up, right?
Hey man, you
Right,
didn't have to
right.
bamboozle us though. Like you could have at least given us some warning as to like the actually very real consequences of playing a game,
I
Bennett.
don't know.
A game.
Aurora, man, Bennett, I never would have believed you.
And that's kind of why I didn't do it. But also, where's the fun in that? And you guys are smart. You guys figured it out so fast. You guys so adjusted to your powers. I mean, look at you guys. This is
I got
amazing.
knocked out by a tongue, dude.
Well, that overcharge can be a little tricky sometimes, but otherwise, he's a good little buddy. You're doing well with him,
Yeah.
for sure.
At some point, I got to get back and feed the real Cody too, though.
Okay. I mean, you saw the card. If you guys don't want to stay here, you don't have to. But I wanted to do this for us.
Sorry. Look, I'm being an asshole. I don't mean to be an asshole.
No, it's okay. This was
It's a lot.
This was a lot, but it doesn't work without, the ritual of it all. If you guys had known, we just would be at a dining room table. And
Is
that's it.
time passing where we are from?
It's starting to get the green of the sky is lightening
No,
a
no,
little.
no. Back home. Bennett, is time passing where we're from?
I think so.
So we're all what, like sitting in a trance or something?
I don't know. I've only been able to enter by myself. I don't know.
How long have you been here before?
It's felt like a long time, but it seems like not much time has really passed in the real world.
Okay.
So we don't have to worry about our bodies actually.
Like decaying.
Aurora's got a
decaying.
fucking
I have
kill.
people
Hunger.
waiting on me. A person waiting on me.
Okay, I hear you. Do you want to call a vote? We don't have to stay here.
If we leave, can we come back?
I've been able to come back alone. I don't know if the ritual would work. If you all know about it, it might. I don't know.
I mean, is that it though? Like we didn't kill your like big bad.
No, I had so much planned.
Yeah.
You guys haven't even seen Cody yet.
I knew it.
Here.
You
Cody is
motherfucker.
here.
I
He
told
is
you.
here.
No. How could he be here? He's gone. He's
You
not
just
actually.
fucking said.
Your version of Cody is here.
I wanted us to have a version of him that we can remember forever. To really say goodbye. That's all. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
only
yeah.
reason I did this.
Scarecrow?
It's a little sick.
I get it. It's a little strange. But fine. We don't have to do that. We can go back to the real world and say our goodbyes and let that be it. I know I know that this was a long shot, but I wanted to try. Because he really mattered to me, and I know that he really mattered to all of you guys too. It's not a contest. He mattered to all of us. We all love him. But I'm bummed that I didn't get a goodbye, and I wanted one. And maybe that's selfish, and I'm sorry. But I thought maybe you guys would want one too. I really screwed this whole thing up, didn't I?
Some things should be left in the past.
Your heart was in the right place, man, but fuck.
All right, well, someone call a vote. I can't do it.
Fuck it, I'll do it. Let's vote.
As you say, let's vote. The sky that was just beginning to lighten a slightly lighter green, the space around you kind of fades a little bit darker, and then as if these strange sort of spotlights light the five of us in this small little circle that we are speaking in. Just these strange sort of starlight spots that hit all five of us. And the words of that card echo in your minds. At any time, a player may call a vote. Each player must say either the game continues or the game is over. The vote must be unanimous. Dead players do not get a vote. And the spot illuminating Mal turns gold. It's your turn to vote.
Can we talk about this a little more?
Either phrase, that's it.
The game continues. I feel like you guys. I'm sorry.
You need this.
I want to go by too.
The spotlight around Gibbs goes gold. It's your turn.
Play continues.
Aurora.
The game continues.
Ronnie.
Continues.
The spotlight around Bennett turns gold and illuminates a heaving chest with nerves and fear. He looks up at all of you, and with a face that can only express, I don't think I can do this. He gets the words out, the game and then
Oh my god.
a choking sound emits from his lips as the spotlights break and a form wreathed in shadow pulls up behind Bennett with something sickly and sharp to his
We
neck.
have 3 master's tokens.
Yes, you do.
Can we save Bennett with one of them somehow?
What do you, how do you use the token in this moment? What wish would you use to will this action to change?
Whatever that thing is. I don't know how powerful these are.
Well, like it's clear that Bennett was like stabbed in the back by something.
Okay.
And then now kind of just has a figure kind of cloaked around his shoulders with like an arm kind of at his back.
If he had said the game continues, do you think that would have changed the outcome or no?
It has to be unanimous.
Yeah. So like, do you think he's like actively being punished, or like,
Whatever that thing is, can I make it not be here anymore? Is that too powerful?
I think we can live in that vein, but we can maybe pair in a little bit more. I would say you can like undo, you can kind of like rewind time a little bit and like undo an action, or like not knowing the power of this entity, it's kind of hard to saying go away is a little too abstract. So a master's token, essentially, can be used in the blink of an eye to kind of redirect the narrative a little bit, like just a slight. It's like an interlock switch on a railroad. You're just sort of just a slight shift in the track from here to here. So if that
Maybe
visual
we could
is helpful.
like move the wound to somewhere like non-lethal.
That's an option.
Okay, yeah,
Sure.
that.
Great.
Okay,
Bennett's speech still falters. Instead of the blade going directly through him, it just slices along his side. And so you see a gout of red amongst his white suit as he cries out. The arm slips past him, and this now becomes he switches his grip, and this now becomes the arm at his neck. Everyone, just give me some space. I asked this of Aurora already, and I want to ask the rest of the group. We'll go one at a time. What do you think is one of Mal's favorite memories of Cody? A thing he wore, a thing he did, some little memory that you would call upon. What do you think that is?
Yeah. He would help me like train for baseball a lot.
Uh-huh.
And he was always like my number one, and he would do this like a really good impression of our coach. Like it was always like spot on.
Yeah.
And whenever I was like getting really tired, he'd like do the impression and be like, "Come on, Malcolm," and
Yeah.
I'd be like, "That's it," and I would. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is that moment or that thing for Gibbs?
Cody was the person who would push me to go talk to people.
Mm.
Because I had a lot of thoughts. I would confide in him. He was like, just go have the conversation. And it was something that would never, ever cross Gibbs's mind. And without
Sure.
Cody, he has not had a full
Yeah.
momentum.
Well, and you two were pretty good pals.
Yeah.
Would he have known about Celeste at all?
He probably played dumb, but he absolutely knew. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I would have told him about the book too. It's
Sure.
like, yeah, and then
And
there's
go,
this-
oh,
yeah.
right, this cool fictional girl that you're
Right.
writing about. What a muse.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think is that thing for Ronnie about Cody?
For Ronnie. It's just Cody always showing up, and when Ronnie's feeling a little bit down and lonely, just throws his arm around him and just sort of gives him a little playful punch in the arm and just says, "Hey buddy, like let's go." And just navigates off to somewhere new.
Great. All of these memories kind of coalesce within each one of you because the figure standing behind Bennett now that just dealt a grievous wounds to his side is Cody. It's the body shape is similar, but there's a huge cowl of black fabric that sits around his neck and the bottom of his chin. His clothing is dark, but it almost looks as if they're set aflame in dark fire. There's some wreathing, strange, shadowy something to his form. His eyes are mere pinpricks of light in the void of a dark face, just above where this sort of dark gray cowl sits across his face. With his other arm not holding Bennett, he gives him a little punch and says, "Hey, buddy, let's stay here for a second." And just kind of looks at all the rest of you. Bennett, recovering from this grievous wound, is terrified, not from pain, but from the lack of recognition. Bennett goes, "Who are you? What are you? I didn't make you." And the figure behind Bennett says, "Oh, come on, Bennett. Of course you did." No, I made the version that I wanted to remember. He was good. He was kind. He was funny. He was a prince, for God's sake. What are you? And the figure behind him, dripping with this like sanguine snark, I'm everything you didn't include. You take all the good, and where's the bad supposed to go, huh? It just festers and pools. And then maybe it, sticks around for a little while. And it's fine. It's fine. You're all right. You're right. The game continues. And he stabs Ben in the back for real this time.
God.
And it's too quick. With the rushing speed only a fool could muster, this shadowy blade appears out of Bennett's stomach. And he just goes wide-eyed and slack. And falls off of the blade, taking that wreathing shadow with him as he falls to the ground. Bennett's form, all of that weird wreathing shadow that was surrounding Cody, slips and sloughs off of his body and crawls its way and starts to move over Bennett's body. It's not eating it, it's not consuming it, it's just covering it and morphing it in some way. In the meantime, as the shadow falls away from this figure, this like new visage of Cody emerges. It's a face that you recognize, the hair that you recognize, the figure that you recognize, but now it is slick and snarky, and it's he's wreathed in attire befitting like like Lord Strahd, like a vampire lord, just high collar and dark colors and pomp and circumstance and this depth of dark spirit. You get to play my game this time. And he snaps, and Cody is gone. As the sun continues to rise, turning the sky that signature yellow, the shadow burns in wisps away from Bennett's form. His body is still there, and after a moment, he starts to come to consciousness, coughing and sputtering, and with very little strength, he is really only able to manage to roll over. He's got this big wound in his torso that's still closing, and half of his face now is just wreathed in this shadowy scar, just direct across diagonally. He's clothed in mere rags and bare leather straps, and looks like a beggar. I think I messed up. I can't do anything anymore.
What do you mean?
I'm just a monster. Those things that attacked you when I disappeared. I think I'm one of them now. I'm fallen. What do we do?
Aurora pulls back her pink curls and retches just in front of her.
In the midst of a setting sun, the sky turning a golden yellow in this sickening early morning light. The party looks at the horizon ahead of them, behind them where they just traveled from, dead center in between 2 points of civilization, in a massive field, a horizon full of wilds around them. The man they once knew as the master of this domain has fallen, is but a creature. And some other force at work, something unbeknownst to Bennett in the creation of this world, has reclaimed control of the master and is set forth to create the world that they envision. I'm gonna come around and collect your dice. What was a master of one has become a master of none. And this party has fallen into the descent of a mad king. What the world of the Forgotten Lands will become, we're sure to find out eventually. But in the meantime, the arid highways stretch for hundreds of miles around them. Riding through a desert, no horse to their name, and nameless and unspeakable plights that await them. And that's the end of our second session.
Oh, fuck!
I had to make it interesting, right?
Yeah, very.
I had a literal chill running up me.
So we have collected the
I'm
dice.
screaming forever.
We have left the world of die. The game is over. Thank you for playing. It's our little ritual that we like to do at the end of a game of die, just to sort of cut back on some of the bleed that we can experience sometimes. That got a little intense. And should we return to the world of die with these incredible
Please.
heroes and
Please.
a new party member? Bennett is no longer a master, but players, when they are killed, become the fallen and can act as the fallen and do all sorts of things. But the fallen that killed them claims that person's power. So whatever killed Bennett claimed the powers of the master
Oh my god.
and has moved on.
Oh my god.
Bennett, now as a fallen,
Evil code.
can remain in the party and hope to not be killed on sight by anybody who chooses to hunt down fallen. But he's become your party member and your ally, and will travel with you for as long as you see fit. But moving forward, his votes do not count. Dead players don't get a vote. That's unfortunately it for this small and wonderful season of Die. I would again love to thank Mads and Danny and Brooke and Echo for their incredible work in this season, making such complex and crestfallen people. And I have a good feeling that we will revisit them in the future, that this is not the end of their story. It is merely a bump in the road. So ends what we're calling episode 2 of Die the RPG, a episode I'm lovingly calling Pafools Rush In. We're gonna stick around for a little bit afterwards and do our post-mortem, our little talk back for our Patreon subscribers. So if you have any questions for us, for the players, for myself, that you want to contribute to that episode of Postmortem, you could go to the Die Discord server. That is discord.rollforhotness.com, I believe.
Correct.
Maybe we'll put a link in the chat. There is a Die channel where you can leave those questions that we would be happy to answer in the Postmortem for our Patreon. And I think in the meantime, I will toss it over to Danny to give us a little closeout.
Me. Hey everybody, thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for bringing your friends, those of us who rated. Thank you for your financial support, but also thank you for your support. Thanks for being here. I have enjoyed the shit out of this show, and I would like to bring it back as soon as humanly possible. And as always, if anything you saw tonight you think was worth at least $1, please consider joining our Patreon, where you'll be able to watch our postmortem that we were just talking about. And you also have access to some behind the scenes stuff and some exclusive content that's not available elsewhere. There's a one shot that we just went through, and there's another one coming up again very soon that we've been breaking up into episodes on Patreon as well. And the tiers are defined when you get there. But again, put all your questions in that Discord. I already see some populating in. We'd love to answer them. Discussions are wonderful. And as always, we're going to pay the love forward with a raid of our own. And who are we going to raid?
Yeehaw.
Dork Tales!
Woo!
And thank you all so much. What a journey.
What a time.
Yes. Until we die another day. Thank you for joining us. This has been a little sappy moment, and I'll cry during postmortem. So pay for that. This has been like one of the most thrilling experiences I've had as a person who plays TTRPGs. I've never DM'd something this long in this amount of succession ever. I've only done one-shots ever in my life. So this was incredibly daunting and the most fun, and I cannot wait to do it again. So thank you guys again. Thank you, Danny, for the opportunity. Thank you all for joining us and being such a great part of this experience. We're gonna do it again, but until then, see you guys later.
Good. Bye.